Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ihsahn. Ihsahn. To Ihsahn himself and to his fellow friends, I apologize for the cold opening. For if you do not understand us 90s kids and Animaniacs, you will not get that joke. And for those who are you 90s kids, you are welcome. So, Ihsahn, most famously known for being a part of one of the most influential black metal acts of the 90s, going into the 2000s, more specifically for the genre known as symphonic black metal specifically. That band being, well, I just said Emperor, I think, yes. And Ihsahn was amongst a member of this band. And yes, this is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe his 8th solo studio record. I come to know of him over the years through more before I even knew about him in Emperor. More so through his time working with, having worked with Leprous, having been their backing band, or at least having gotten into Leprous and their stuff because it was more my thing, because I wasn't fully entrenched towards black metal, and in a way Leprous was more my gateway in that regard because I was more interested in more progressive metal. Still technically am. I've found other and better genres, or at least better bands within the genre currently, more so more so thanks to bands like Death Heaven, of course, but not in the way that most people say with Sunbather. Regardless, in Ihsahn's case, I've been looking for an excuse to get into him. I knew about Arctis around that time, but I just could not bother to because of I just wasn't fully feeling it upon listening to the first track, because I just wasn't ready for it. You know what I mean? And yeah, the record of the thing that got me involved, that helped push me further, not just Leprous itself, who it turns out the frontman Einar Solberg was a part of, essentially became brothers-in-laws to said Ihsahn, and has worked with him as a collaborator for a while. In fact, it was more so because of said band here, Trivium, particularly Matt Heafy, which was also apparently on the Arctis record, and I need to get to that record, because apparently a lot of people say it's amongst his highest, best work. And apparently, so is this thing. We'll get to that. But it was from Trivium, more so through working with them, having become friends through that collaboration, and then and some tours here and there, I'm sure, prior to that, and then so on and so forth, leading into the last Trivium record, In the Court of the Dragon, which Ihsahn was involved in producing, or at least specifically the orchestral stuff. And after hearing this, I kind of believe that. Or, in fact, I think this is better than what was on that record, actually. And then, of course, he definitely produced and was involved in the instrumentation of the entire black metal project that Matt Heafy would do, called Ibaraki, which sort of seemed like it might have been a black metal side thing that kind of might have connected to Shogun, maybe. But I might be, stretching it with that, I'm sure. But regardless, after that, I was like, you know what? If Ihsahn decides to make another record, I will be there to check it out. Or at least I would hope that I heard good word on it before I gave it a shot. And I did, to the point of what people had said about the Arctis album. Even to the point where most people are putting it really close to this thing. So yeah, I gave it a shot. And most of what they say is right. Not entirely sure on Metal Meltdown saying on this being the closest thing to Emperor, since Ihsahn came out and said that Emperor will never get back together. Fear not, apparently, from what I've heard, this record is close to that. But honestly, I get more vibes from what I got out of from having heard Recent Enslaved on top of, but if it was more symphonic, more closer in line to symphonic metal, symphonic black metal in that, but in this weird kind of way. This is basically a symphonic progressive black metal record that essentially is Ihsahn deciding to go back to his roots in the symphonic black metal genre from Emperor, and while also continuing on from where he left off from his previous record in that more progressive black metal style on top of it. And I not only I get current Enslaved, I get BT Bam and some Devin Townsend for good measure vibes off of this thing. But if black metal. Well, Enslaved's technically still black metal, but it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure it's going to be on everyone's album, The Year Contender, and it will be mine included. Goddamn. The comparison the Thralls of Metal guys said in calling this black metal Fantasia, they are not wrong. Hell, I'm going to go even further than that and probably put it in my parentheses of this review title and saying anybody who knew what happened the day of this album's release here in the Midwest, specifically here in Missouri, East Side Missouri more so or less. Not sure if it hit all of Missouri, but yeah. We got hit with the weirdest freaking storm in February. Like thunder and stuff happened, and on top of that, a mix of both rain, then sleet that turned into marble-sized hail. I wish I could have recorded this so you'd believe me, but then again, you probably have heard it through other sort of things and newses and stuff, so you would probably believe me if you check your news on what happened in Missouri here. And to the point where outside my door close by from here, the pile went up to my knee, like for right here. That's how, from the ground. That's how high it was. This pile. That for some reason it just decided to pile up exactly here for some reason and just mound up. Just looking outside my glass door, it was crazy. From the basement to the outside, it's crazy. Eventually turned into snow, but yeah, that mound pile was crazy. Crazy. Yes. And I would say there's nothing that would have musically that I've listened to this year, despite having just listened to Eternal Storm, but of the things that kind of happened within the time frame of music that came out this week that I would listen to that would probably soundtrack it, what happened with that the best, it'd be this record here. Genuinely. And since I live kind of close and out in the woods and stuff, the deer and everything kind of sums it up. Heck, I'd even go as far as to say the one with the one album cover for the second half of the Acacia Strain record seems more, well, not quite too accurate. If that was more black and white and there was more snowy looking things on the ground, like you'd expect from, your usual black metal thing. And then, yeah, that would be even more accurate than what we got here, but, I mean, still, hell, I could confuse people who love country and think they think this is a country record. If they didn't know any better. They kind of figured it out on the first track, but they wouldn't fully figure it out until the next track started. Oh boy. But yes, this thing, and there is also an orchestral version of this record. I've yet to hear it, and I don't know for sure whether or not if Ihsahn's guitar, the more black metal instrumentation, got to still be involved in the orchestral movements, or if it's just the orchestra. Which is saying because the do blend in really well with this symphony, surprisingly better than, or at least since things have gotten better tech-wise. Yeah, crazy crazy. I think some of my favorites, Twice Born. I personally kind of like the intro, outro, Servius Ventur, Sonata Profana, even the interlude that kind of serves as more of this, how do I put it? How do you put it for musicals? Intermission. It's more of an intermission. Anima ex Strane. Forgive me, apparently Ihsahn's, I guess, in a region or somewhere in Scandinavia. I think it's Norway. I think it might be Sweden. I don't remember. Forgive me, Ihsahn, if you're watching this, but yeah. But or at least luckily, other than those tracks, everything else is in English. So that helps. Promethean Spark, Pilgrimage to Oblivion, Twice Born, A Taste of the Ambrosia, Blood Trails to Love, which is one of my favorites on here. Or at least I love the chorus, and his cleans on here are just... Like, he definitely learned some things from his brother-in-law, yet possibly also Matt Heafy, in a way. In terms of the more operatic stuff, it's possible he learned some stuff from them, and his cleans are really good here. And they really work well with the music, especially at the moments that kind of come off in that BT Bam, Devin Townsend sort of way, with the way the music is, especially how the orchestral's handled, especially some of that specific heavy Devi's, that John Williams influence that Townsend has. Also, the follow-up Hubris and Blue Devils is pretty interesting. I think that's the most BT Bam of all of them. The Distance Between Us is nice. And yes, the final track, At the Heart of All Things Broken, which is one of the longer songs. In fact, it's not even the longest song, I think, on here. Actually, it is, yes. I think I got that confused with the other record, Eternal Storm. But anyways, I'll get to that and when I catch up on February. Overall, dude, yeah, dude, it's a horns up. Solid to strong, actually. Potential masterclass, but I gotta also hear Arctis yet to know for sure. And other than Arctis, what else should you think I should start with, to the Ihsahn fans? Or even the Emperor fans, where you think I should start? I mean, I'm told that the debut from Emperor is one, but is there any other specific ones instead? Just out of curiosity, Just like, But yeah, what did you think of this self-titled record? In fact, one of the few non-debut self-titles that isn't cursed and is actually really damn good. Like, up there. So, yes. Definitely worth checking out. What did you guys think of this record? Leave a comment below. Let me know. If you like this video, rock that like button and thrust if you must. And as always, guys, keep it random. Keep it real. Keep it rocking. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, y'all. Hopefully the cards do something this year. We'll see. Well, I have the cards. Anyways, bye.